It's been less than a year and Oppo has already launched a successor to the Find N2 Flip in India. The new Find N3 Flip comes with some big changes, mainly to the processor, cameras and software. Here is your first look at Oppo's latest flagship foldable for India. Starting with the packaging, the phone comes in this fancy looking box, and inside you'll find the phone, a plastic case, an 80-watt power adapter, USB cable, and some cautionary instructions on how to properly use it. The new Find N3 Flip has roughly the same dimensions as the previous model. The glossy finish of this sleek black variant is a fingerprint nightmare, but when cleaned up, it gives the phone a very premium look. One new addition to the N3 Flip is an alert slider which feels and functions in the exact same way as OnePlus smartphones. Next to the outer display is another new addition. For the first time on a vertically folding phone, we have 3 camera sensors, and Oppo claims that these are some of the largest sensors too for this form factor. The main camera is the same 50-megapixel Sony IMX890 sensor from the N2 Flip, but it now gets optical stabilization. There's a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera now with autofocus for macro photos and videos. The big highlight is the 32-megapixel portrait camera, which offers autofocus and a 2x optical zoom, along with a 20x digital zoom. This is a pretty robust camera setup for a flip folding phone and puts the N3 Flip in the same league as some of the other regular flagships, at least on paper. The Oppo Find N3 Flip also gets a new processor. It's the MediaTek Dimensity 9200 SoC, which is said to be more powerful and more power efficient. The phone only comes in one variant in India with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. Battery capacity is the same 4300 mAh as before, and the phone supports 44-watt fast charging using the bundle adapter. There's still no wireless charging, however. Oppo says it has strengthened the design of the hinge and it comes with an IPX4 ingress protection against light splashes of water. There's also literally no visible gap between the two halves when folded, and the hinge is now certified to withstand 600,000 folds and unfolds, which is 200,000 more than the N2 Flip. The inner display of the Oppo Find N3 Flip is a 6.8-inch flexible OLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate and a Full HD+ resolution. The peak brightness has increased to 1600 nits. The display is sharp, vivid, and the crease is barely visible or felt even when you touch it, which is impressive. The outer display is pretty identical to the one on the Find N2 Flip. Oppo seems to be committed to this aspect ratio, and for good reason, as the N3 Flip now lets you use full-size apps on the outer display, in addition to the pre-installed widgets for weather and camera. Oppo claims that more than 40 apps have been optimized and more will be added. With the firmware I had, most of the popular Google apps were there, along with support for some others like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Outlook. You can even reply to messages with either voice or the keyboard right from the outer screen. The Oppo Find N3 Flip is a pretty big update when you think about it, and it's surprising considering that the Find N2 Flip launched in India only earlier this year. It certainly gives Samsung and Motorola stiff competition, which is something we'll dive into in more detail in the full review, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Gadgets 360 for more such great tech videos.